Okay, welcome to this tutorial, and we're going to be trying to do this kind of animation. And let's start from scratch. Make sure I save this. New project, and workspace can be all panels. I have my own special version of that. And what we kind of want to go over a little bit is shape layers, and then we'll go into the line thing. So I wanted to hit Command K, and Command K will give you the composition settings, and it might be different on a PC, but I'm sure it's similar. So I'm going to say that this new red line 3. Okay. HDTV 1080-24 is fine. 920 and 1080 is the default. Squares default. Frame rate 24 is fine. Resolutions full is fine. I'm going to change this to 5 seconds today because I just want to not mess with it. And then I kind of want to do the background color a slightly different, like a very deep dark red, just to be a little different. Okay, there you go. And that seems good. That seems good. Okay. I want to just show you again, or first time, I don't know. We do shape layers for different ways. I think there's at least 2 of them that I'll show you. And this is where you just create a shape layer and then you draw stuff, and you can just draw and these fun little shapes, and I have the fill on. You can take the fill off. I have stroke and I have white. This is what I randomly came up with this. I mean, this is a color I had used before, so it defaults back. But you can do any kind of color. Like whatever. No, that's the stroke. Oops. Let's go back. Have a stroke, or you can have no stroke. But the fill. Let's try. You can do solid color. You can do linear gradient, radial gradient. Okay. Like I said, maybe I wanted a purple. Just do that today. So that's a shape layer, and then you can do shape layers again. Let's start with and notice that the shape layer is down here, and we're still building on the same shape layer. You're adding extra shapes inside of the shape layer. The polystar is one, and this wacky doodle shape is another. I don't know, we can rename it. And but polystar is pretty cool. You can change the color inside of it. You can animate each one individually, but again, there are multiple. You can also have control them all at the same time, because it still has the hierarchy, and this is the adult or the parent, and these are like the children inside of it. So you have all this power to kind of play around with these shapes now because you've created this. And again, if I wanted to turn that into a triangle, I would just hit in polystar path points, and there that is. Transform polystar 1. So looks like I want to do scale. Let's have the scale, and let's do a so let's do we animate it by hitting the little clock, and at this point, on the 0 point, I want the scale to be 0%. Okay, we've already started you can also click in there and put 0. And then in 2 seconds, or actually, I'll put 2. We're gonna have it at back to 100%. So, 100%. Why am I doing that? Okay, and it needs to render. The green thing needs to happen. Nope. Oh yeah, I need to. Let's save this. So, this is red line animation. Oh, red line tutorial 4. Tutorial 3 actually. Okay. And so yeah, there you go. So that's that. So it works. Okay. That is just a brief little tutorial on shape layers. It's important because that's mostly what you're going to be doing is creating shapes and all that stuff. So we're going to bring in a file from Illustrator, and it's pretty fantastic to be able to bring in stuff from Photoshop, bring it from Illustrator, and which is very common. It's called a dynamic workflow, and what makes Adobe Suite even more powerful, because you have all this possibilities, and when you bring in something from Illustrator, you can bring them in as layers. So let's bring a simple line in, and I'm going to import, and I've already made this. It's really easy to do. You just make a line in Illustrator. So red line, and this is a, make sure you do it, this is an Illustrator file. When it has redline AI, when it has .ai, that's Illustrator. And I am going to, before I do that, I don't want footage, I want composition and retain layer sizes. And I think that will be fine. Now notice that it brings in a folder, and you want to pop open this folder and bring the actual illustration file in. And this is a footage. We're not going to worry about that, but we will bring this in. And there it is. It's a simple red line. It's not that exciting, but to make it exciting, let's turn it into an After Effects with plenty of layers and possibilities. So we go like this. We go into Layer, and we go into Create. Oops. We gotta highlight it. So we go into Layer, we go into Create, and it creates shapes from vector layer. And you can actually delete this, the original file. If you ever need to go back, you have that up here. And you have all these possibilities. You have path, strokes, transform, rotation, things like that. So you have all these possibilities that you can play with. Today we're going to do things, we're going to play with the trim path and repeater. And that's actually not something that's in this. So I go into contents, or I show that contents. You click on this, go into contents, and you go add trim paths, and that will put this tool inside of there. And now trim paths are fun. What I want to do is make it disappear, but spread out and kind of like go in and out. Now that has to do with the start and end. So I'm actually going to be animating both the start and end. And I think at 0, that's fine. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, so I'll start it out and then I'll disappear it at 2. I've created this keyframe. And let's see if it works. See if it, click aside. Okay, it disappears. I want it to reappear, and how you do that is really simple. you can do it this way. This is kind of a shortcut. You copy, and then you take this, and I want to actually have it reappear here. The 4-second mark. Okay. And again, you test it. Okay. Okay, cool. That works. With all my stuff I do, almost all this stuff, I just highlight it all and I do easy. Just makes it more natural. And I do this control click, keyframe assistance, and I go easy ease. All right, and you can also do F9 on your keyboard. It's a shortcut. So, all right, so I have that going on, but you know what? It's not that exciting. I need to add multiple ones. So how do I do that? We go back to contents, essentially, and add repeater. It's a thing called repeater, and it's a really powerful tool, and it's fun, and you can just repeat the same shapes. Now notice it pulls to the right. It's offsetting it, and then that's just the default. So we actually have to transform and position, and this has to be zeroed out, because what you're doing is you want them on top of each other. Now they're skewed, so you won't be able to do what you want to do. So the position needs to be right here. It's in transform repeater 1 position. This just needs to be zeroed out. Copies, I want to change the copies to 5. You can do more than 5. So I'm going to do 5 though. And then save again. The other thing, so you got that. You got copies and repeater 1 right there. Let's go back to position. Okay, this is X and Y. So I think, wait, is that right? So I think you want to move, yeah, you want to move it up. And that'll spread it out. How I move it, the whole thing is old school style, and I select and I hit the down button. And what that's doing here, you can't see it in here. You can gotta go here. Hold on. That here, I'll show you. See position? You could play around here, but I'm just bringing it down. Hold on. No, that's not where it goes. Oops, hold on. I kind of like it there, but no, that's not, okay. Sorry. Okay, you see the numbers going down or changing on the Y. I'm bringing it down and just kind of, you could have a grid up and, you know, decide to, you know, I don't know. You can have a grid and make sure that it's perfectly, okay, is that perfect? You know, that kind of thing. But I do by sight. So let's take this grid off. Okay. All right. So now you got that going. Let's see what that looks like. And see if it, well, first of all, you gotta see if it works. So what we did was we changed the position of this, of the actual lines. They were on top of it. Well, before that, we added the default amount from 3 to 5 lines. We changed the Y and the lines were on top of each other, so we pulled them apart. And then we also generally brought the lines down closer to the middle. And now we're just seeing if it works. Yes, they all work. Okay. All right. What makes it a little more exciting and cooler is if they do it individually, and we have to find that. I always forget where it is. I think it's in Yes. So trim multiple. So this is in trim pass one, trim multiple shapes. Now this is really important. Okay, you do it individually, but you not only do you do that, but you bring repeater above trim pass. Repeater one above trim pass. All right, that's what you have to do. It is a hierarchical system sometimes. It doesn't fully work correctly unless you fix the hierarchy. This time, repeater one gets moved up right above trim pass where we just changed it to going individually. Let's try this. Yes, and that's it. There you go.